In today's episode, I would like to take you through the ups and downs and the roller coaster that Ricky Baby and I went once he arrived here in America, and I had the pleasure of riding him for the very first time. So Ricky Baby arrived in America towards middle to the end of July, and at that time we were at the World Equestrian Center with all our students and our sales horses, and he came straight to the World Equestrian Center. We gave him a couple of days of like recuperating time just to settle in and everything, and then I decided we just gonna start slow, which I thought was slow in the meter 20s, seeing that just 2 weeks before he came here he still did the meter 40s and the meter 45s in Germany. Not taking in consideration that it has been a year and a half for me almost not riding horses of that caliber, more like gearing towards the business and prepping child adult jumper, low amateur jumpers for our sales barn. So I was a little bit rusty. So let me take you into our very first round. So we are here at the World Equestrian Center. We are in the stadium. This is the first class. He has been in the States at this point, I think, for like 6-7 days. He adjusted quite well. He was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, but I'm going to talk you through that, like a little bit off-center there, coming through that left turn. Too much of an outside bend coming to this one. And you can see, like, if you compare it to the girls that rode him in Germany, there's like different body language from me. Not too bad coming into that combination. Could have waited there a little bit more. I get deep to that vertical there. Now the hand gets a little bit rough. You can see right there where my hand comes up, because I feel like he's going a little bit too fast, and then down that line my hand comes up. I hollow him out, and then his hind end comes down too early. We get a rail on that vertical there, just too much running into, you can't see it, but that oxer rail on that combination also came out. You can see the unevenness in my hand there, coming also to the last jump. Like my left hand is way higher than my right hand. It's an uneven contact, makes him a little bit crooked. And that was our first round. That, like, the first round I thought was not too bad. I mean, we had 3 knockdowns, but we finished the course. So then Rowan and I, we made the decision that we want to try and have the jumps go to a meter 30. So the next class we put him into the meter 30, kind of hoping that, like, this runniness that he had at that time, the jumps would like stop him a little bit, which for him would have probably been a good idea, but I wasn't ready for that class yet. And let me take you right into our second class where we did the meter 30s. Okay, let me quickly pause there. So the very first round, I had the feeling that I had too much horse. There was too much movement, too fast, too flat, not really taking attention, taking a time, taking a breath. So I decided to go with a double rein now on that bit, so that I have a little bit more contact and can bring him can bring him back more. And then this is the round that we then had. So you can see that we already start a little bit slower. He's a little bit hangy over the first one. And then let me count the strides. I think it was a 9 stride there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm already adding 2 strides on that line. So I'm already way down my pace. And then I'm waiting there, a little bit handsy, coming into the Lugano with a little chip. Then I really had to move him up, coming to that vertical here. And you can see he's hesitant off the ground. You see that starter step right there. Now I shape him out, and now I keep his head all the way to the left. My left hand is high, high, high. And right there, this is what he was not used to. Like, now we're a stride and a half away. First of all, everything was under the rhythm. I didn't move him nice enough. And then if you look right here, I already start softening my shoulders here, and I push my hands forward. The girls that rode him in Germany, they always had him all the way till the base into the bridle. And right here, I tossed the reins at him and asked Jesus to take the wheel. And that's when he got hesitant and was not really sure about it. And then I decided to try with a little bit more pace, which was a good idea. But I only picked up more pace. I didn't change my ride there. And here you can see 2 strides out again. I'm leaning forward. My knees are open, and I have a total disconnection in the rein, and this is what happens. Because he's already careful, he doesn't trust it, and then he just tells me like, nope, we are not doing that. So that was my second round on Ricky Baby. And I rewatched these videos probably 20 times, and I analyzed like, what did I do wrong? And I compared it to all the rides that he had in Germany. So at this point, I knew this whole like just tossing the reins at him and try to let him do all the job wasn't what he was used to. And now we're going into our next meter 20 round. This is the day after I just fell off. So there you can see I already tried to stay a little bit more back with my upper body. Too loose there. I'm wearing gloves now because the last time I thought my hands were really stiff and tight, and it felt like just the reins were sliding through my hands. Right there, I got a little bit of combination PTSD, so I waited, pulled, until there was no distance. And then Ricky decided, I'm an idiot. No, not him. Ronnie is an idiot. I can't jump into a combination and out of a combination with no rhythm. That's then where I decided to pick up the pace, move him up, support him. Was a little bit hesitant off the ground, and then coming down the line, I just let him run down that line. And at that point, I already knew there's a second combination, and the whole round, all the way up to the next combination, I was so distracted just thinking about that combination. You can see my left hand coming up there again. Totally disconnected. And then once I got through that combination, that's when I just had a breath and was like, whew, I didn't die. That was good. So now we have one round with 3 rails. We have one round that I fell off and got eliminated. We have one round that I made him stop. And now we're moving into our 4th round. This is the second week, I would say. Yeah, this is the second week. Let's go straight into this one. Okay, we're back in the meter 20s. This is week number 2 now of Ricky being in the United States. Now I already knew that I have to ride a little bit more forward. Ran him under there, but still good. I didn't lean in my upper body, so that gave him the confidence to then just take that vertical without a problem. Nice rhythm coming straight into that combination. Leaning back and waiting for these front feet to leave the ground before I tip over. And now this line was a tricky line. Let me go back. So it was a bending line from that red vertical here to the oxer that is there. And okay, now let's analyze that. So this oxer is right next to the rail. And the way the angle was is, if this is the wall, the oxer was kind of like this and you jumped this way. So okay, let's put it like this. So this is the oxer, this is the wall. So instead of shaping it out and riding the oxer away from the wall, I came this way and rode him straight into the wall with the water tray underneath. And now if you look at my body language right here, I try to leave a stride out. Okay, let's go here. I try to leave a stride out. I'm asking him to leave roundabout here, jumping straight into the wall. And now my default settings of my bad riding went straight into pushing my hand forward, leaning my upper body into him before he even gets to the jump. So let's go back, coming out of that line. So the best thing I could have done is move a little bit more to the right here and now move a little bit more to the left, give myself more room, and then don't drop him, because that's what he does when you drop him. And then he's so sensitive. Like, he thought he was in trouble. So I was standing next to him and I was like, just like, oh, buddy, oh, nothing's happening. And I just tried to walk backwards with him and not to pull on him so that he doesn't get scared from me, because I didn't want him to feel that he was a bad guy. You know, he wasn't. Like, I was the idiot. I gave him a really bad ride. And I wanted him to be sure about that. We scratched one class. We scratched one class after that because he was a little bit tight in the back. And then we put him in another meter 20 class, which is this one here. So now I started to understand that horse more, and then I didn't find a distance. And I was really happy that he took that one, but then it was a tug of war, my hands are up, and I ride him straight into that deep spot right there. And I remember now. So this was a day where he, in the warm-up ring, was already so fired up. I had the feeling that even with my double rein, I was totally out of control. So I tried to override it by riding even more backwards. And after the first two jumps, I decided, I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. And then I picked up the pace. Here, that jump, I had a little bit of PTSD. I thought he would be looking at that, so I overrode it, because there was the jump that I fell off in our second round into the combination. Hands up here. Still good recovery. That oxer was good. Yeah, and then we finished the course on 4 falls that were also mine. But I had the feeling that we got together much, much better. Everything started flowing better, and we got much easier and smoother through that course. Like, after I realized that these first two that I rode backwards are not gonna help me get through the rest of the course. Especially not with like the PTSD that I had about riding so shit. And And now let me take you into our last class. So this is the class we finished our summer circuit off. And you guys have seen, like, I fell off twice. I had to stop. And at this point, other riders already came up to me and asked me, like, are you sure you bought the right horse? Like, do you think he's a stopper? Maybe he's not that good, or they sold you a lemon. But like I said, like obsessively, I rewatched all my videos from the World Equestrian Center circuit in the summer, and I could nitpick all the mistakes that I did there as a rider. Because like I said, that horse has just done a double clear round in the meter 40s, meter 45s 2 weeks before he came. So I knew it couldn't be him. I knew it had to be me. So let me take you into our last class, the way we finished off the WEC summer circuit. We stayed in the meter 20s. Didn't want to take a chance. I wanted to finish off with a really good round. Already there you can see in my body language how much taller I am, how much straighter I stay over the jump, how much more I have him together. And then also out of the turns. Way more balanced. My upper body is taller. You can see my hands are parallel now. I'm not having that one hand risen up and distracting him and making him crooked. So my riding already improved right there. There I stayed out more so that I create more room. And that's when he like tosses his head and he's like, I know where we're going. I got really lucky on that skinny vertical. You can see the rub, and then it just rolls in the cups right there. Took him out too much here to the combination, and then I really had to push hard to get there. But at this point, we already had more of a relationship where he then trusted me and said like, oh, okay, yeah, you're not dropping me. And I kept my hand on the horse, and I suggested with my body language that I'm there, I understand him, I'm with him, and I'm not leaving him alone. And then riding up to the last one. And that's the finish. So that's how we finished our summer circuit, with like lots of ups and downs. There would have been another class that I could have ridden him afterwards, but I opted out to do that class because I was a little bit worried if I screw up one more time, I don't have another day and I don't have another class to fix it. So I decided to scratch the last class and leave it on that class and go into our 3-week summer break until we go to the next horse show. So this was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Me getting to know this awesome horse. Yeah, and then I hope I see you guys at our next episode of Ocala Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Baby.